another video. What is going on here? What is happening? Another video. The Emperor's got his groove back. It is happening. So if you've been following me on Instagram, if you've read the title, you probably figured out that I've lost my freaking mind. It was pointed out to me that I was up to 499 posts on Instagram. So I put out a thing asking for suggestions for what my 500th post should be. And y'all just want to see me suffer. And apparently I'm okay with that. Because plenty of people suggested that I draw all my characters in one picture. And I was like, I can't do that. That's going to take up way too much time. And what did I end up doing? I ended up drawing all of my characters in one picture. It took me about 8 days in total from sketch to finished. And I nearly lost it, let me tell you. But we got there in the end and I managed to film the line art and the colouring. So I thought I'd put together a video for y'all and maybe take it as an opportunity to tell you a little tiny snippet about each character, just so that you get a general idea of who they are. And then if you like this sort of thing, maybe I can go more in depth about certain characters in another video. Without further ado, I should stop talking because this video is gonna be a long one, so let's get into it. So before I start talking about the characters, it's important to establish which universes they're from. So the pink background is everyone in Archie's universe, the yellow is Birdie and Lillian's universe, the blue is the Freakshow universe, orange is Iman and Ghost Gum's universe, and purple is just Miscellaneous characters that I don't know what to do with, to be honest. So we'll tackle Archie's universe first because it's the biggest one. It's set in Australia. Archie is my main boy. He was the first character I ever made in this universe and I love him. He's 22 in this picture and he's 6'3", he's buff, he's scary looking, he's only got one eye, he works as a security guard here and there, and he, despite looking really scary, is the most lovable, soft marshmallow boy that you'll ever meet in your life because he just loves everyone. He's really kind, he'd never say a bad word about anyone, and he's just adorable, okay? Next up is Monty. He's short, he's scrawny, he's French, he's cranky. He's not always cranky, he's just a little bit feisty. And he's Archie's boyfriend. If you haven't guessed, 90% of my characters are queer, and if you don't like it, you can get out. Monty's 23. He was a bit of a bad boy as a teenager, but he's kind of over that now. He's settling down, and he's just a character. He's a bit of a character in the sense that he's just never ceases to surprise people, that one. And yeah, he met Archie in the army, forgot to mention they were in the army, did all that jazz, whatever, and yeah, he just moved to Australia when he was 18 or 19 and stayed there ever since. Then we have Ember, but everyone calls him Sparky, that's just his nickname, and he's adorable. I love him so much. He's such a sweet little boy, and he's just so adorable. I love him. I don't even know what to say about him. I just love him so much because he's just so kind, and he and Archie were best friends growing up, so he had an impression on Archie. He without Sparky, Archie wouldn't be the marshmallow, the kind little boy that he is today. You know what I'm saying? They're just adorable. Then we have Adair. He is Sparky's dad. In this picture, he is 39. I have drawn him younger in the past because he looks different when he's younger. And another marshmallow. Okay, I swear not all of my characters are marshmallows, just the majority of them are marshmallows, okay? Adair is thick, he is kind, he just wants to hug people because he's just so adorable, and he's really anxious all the time, but it's okay. He's managing it, he's fine. He's just, he's adorable. I just don't understand. Then we have Fern. This is Sparky's mum. If you couldn't tell, I mean, that's where he got his eyes and his gorgeous white hair from. His gorgeous mother fern. I love her so much. She is my world. She another marshmallow. Like, take a shot every time one of my characters is a marshmallow, because she is just so pure, and she's an artist, and she is just everything. She's everything, and I love her. Then we have Emilio. I don't know what that was. It just explains Emilio in a nutshell, basically. Emilio is Adair's boyfriend. Another one. I'm getting like really weird now. I don't know what's happening. Emilio is fun. That is, if one word to describe Emilio, is fun, because he is 33 and he is just young and vibrant and doesn't give a damn what anyone thinks of him. So he's just living his best life, and he's the sort, it doesn't matter how bad a situation is, he just knows what to say, and he just knows how to make it better. Like, he's just one of those people. His only downfall is that he has a fear of blood, so if that crisis situation involves blood, he can't help you because he'll be off throwing up somewhere. Next up, we have Claire. She is Archie's gorgeous mum. That's where he got his eyes from, and his gap in his teeth, and his freckles, and all that good stuff. She is such a good influence. Like, you could not ask for a better mum in your life, because Claire is just one of those people that just knows. And she hasn't had the easiest life. Things have been tough, but she's gotten through it, and she's helped Archie to get through things, and she's just gorgeous, and she deserves the whole world, and you'll hear more about her later in relation to other characters. Then we have Alistair. Now, you probably noticed that I never draw Alistair. That's because he's pure evil and I hate his guts. He's Archie's dad. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about him, because he is not worth wasting my breath over. Which then brings me to someone that I actually want to talk about. His name is Chester, and he is just the purest person on the planet. I say that about all of my characters, except Alistair, but he is Claire's new boyfriend, and he treats her like an absolute goddess, and I love him so much. He lives in like a little 1-bedroom cottage, and he's a landscaper / gardener, and he has the most beautiful flower garden. He takes so much pride in it, and he just loves being outdoors and being in nature and just being with his flowers. Like, he just loves his flowers so much. He loves Claire more than the flowers, but like, he loves the flowers a lot, and he's just such a nice, naturally kind person, and he's just a hopeless romantic, and I love him. And more importantly than me loving him is that Archie loves him, because, you know, like, if someone's dating your mum, you have to sort of gauge whether you like this person or not, and luckily Archie gets along really well with him, and they're pretty good friends, so it's working out well. Then there's River. This is Claire's sister, which makes her Archie's aunt, and she owns the florist shop that Archie and his mum live above for a period of time. And yeah, she was one of the people that set Claire and Chester up on a date, because she was like, my sister needs to get out of this house. She needs to go meet this kind man that I have found for her. And she did a little bit of matchmaking and got them together, and she's just one of those. She's one of those people that's like, I did that. Then we have Rusty. I love Rusty so much. He's Adair's dad. He's like 63 or something now, I don't know. But he's one of those that, like, in the 70s, he was the shit. He was like, oh lord, I love Rusty so much. He is the most chilled character in this entire universe, in all of the universes that I have. Adair can come to him with anything, and he'll just be so chill about it, and Adair's like, what the? But overall, Rusty is a fantastic father. He always has been, always will be. People were like, man, you're stuck in the 70s, you still think you're a teenager, you're never gonna be a good father because you're never gonna grow up, you're not mature enough, all that crap. But he proved them all wrong, because he knows the balance between like being mature but still having fun. So he's just all around a great guy, and I love him. Next up is Erin. This is Rusty's daughter, which makes her Adair's sister, and she is equally as chill as Rusty. Adair is the anxious one of the family, and Erin is just like the supportive younger sister. She's 4 years younger than Adair, but she acts like she's older and wiser, and he's eternally grateful for that because he needs people like that in his life. When they were kids, Adair was always like the protective older brother, and like would always pick her up if she fell over and like stand up for her and all that sort of stuff. But as they got older, and like you have to face more adult issues, she was the grounded one that's like, don't panic, we're gonna get through this, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, she's just a fabulous young lady, and I love her. And I pretty much forgot to mention that Adair, Rusty, Erin, and Emilio all work together. They're all mechanics, and they work at Powell Automotive. And yeah, it's pretty snazzy. They have fun. It's a nice family business. Emilio is essentially part of the family, like before Adair and Emilio even get together, purely because he works there, and they just treat each other like family, and it's great. Next up we have Lionel. Lionel is a nervous little boy. He is a comic artist. He is Erin's husband, and he has a stutter and he has ADHD, so he's like a little bit nervous about talking to new people and all that jazz. He kind of just prefers to do his comics in the safety of his own home. I can relate to that. But yeah, he's one of those people that doesn't really understand his own self-worth. Like, he thought, how the hell am I gonna get with this Erin girl because she is out of my league? But then what he didn't understand is she is not out of his league. He just doesn't know his own worth because he's just too precious. He's too precious, and he needs to be protected. And I love him. Oh my lord. So next up we have Tommy. This is Lionel's younger brother, and he is awesome. He is great. He's always standing up for his older brother. He's always been there for him. They have a really good relationship. They're like best friends. And it's subconsciously for Lionel, Tommy is one of the reasons that he's got this low self-worth. It's not Tommy's fault. It's not Lionel's fault. It's no one's fault. But subconsciously, Lionel feels like Tommy got the better genes. Like, Tommy doesn't have a stutter. Tommy doesn't have anything happening. He's just perfect. And he doesn't even have to try to be perfect. And it's not like Lionel's angry or jealous or anything. It's just a subconscious thing that makes him feel a little bit down about himself. But it's not true, Lionel. It's not true. You are beautiful, Lionel. Ah! At the end of the day, with all that said, it doesn't really impact their relationship at all because they're best friends, they love each other, and that's all that really matters. Then we have Evelyn. This is Monty's older sister. She's older by 9 years. She's also French, and she is a model. She is amazing. She's living in Australia. I don't know why, but like, if you're a model, why wouldn't you stay in Paris, love? But anyway, that's not up to me, that's up to her. But she's got a family here in Australia now, so that's probably what's keeping her here. And she's into like photography. She doesn't just purely do modeling, she does photography and all that sort of stuff. She's like a social media influencer type person, and she's just overall a great person. She's wise. Like, if Monty has an issue, he won't go to his parents. He's one of those that, like, even though you know that you can trust your parents, he's like, no, I can't tell them hon baguette, I cannot tell my parents anything. I'm sorry, why did I do that? I'd like to formally apologize to any French people listening because I'm sorry. I'm just really sorry. So that's Evelyn. Let's quickly move on past whatever just happened there and onto her husband. This is Maddie, and he is lovingly referred to as Purple Jesus by many of my followers, and I don't mind. A lot of people are confused, wondering if he dyes his hair purple. The truth is that the characters with colourful hair are the ones that I made during like my anime phase, so it's meant to be natural, and now I've gone too far and I can't change it now. So he's got naturally purple hair, which is worrying, but it suits him. Purple Jesus up in here. He's a construction worker. He's just your everyday Aussie lad, and he and Evelyn are absolutely head over heels for each other, and it's great. And then they have a little girl. Her name is Elsie, and she's, I think, 5. I don't know. I never draw her because I'm like always going back and forth on her design, and the issue is that Evelyn has green hair, Maddie has purple hair, and I'm like, what does green and purple make? It makes like muddy brown. So her hair is muddy brown. But anyway, Elsie's just like your average, everyday kid. She's above average. She can speak French and English, so she's already better than me. But other than that, she's like any other kid. She just likes playing outside. Do kids still do that? Back in my day, kids played outside, but I don't know if they do that anymore. But anyway, let's not go on that tangent. I'm like 90 years old, I'll talk forever. And she absolutely adores catching up with Uncle Monty and Uncle Archie, and oh my god, they just love hanging out together. It's adorable, and I want to draw them more often now, because Next up is Marie. This is Evelyn and Monty's mum, which makes her Elsie's grandma. She doesn't like being called a grandma. She doesn't feel old enough to be a grandma, but she loves the concept of being a grandmother to Elsie because she just loves kids, and I love her. And she's just all around a sweet person. She's a teacher, so when she was in France, she was teaching English, and now that she's living in Australia, she's teaching French. And the whole time they were living in France, she was trying to teach Monty English, and he was like, Maman, no. I'm doing it again. I'm sorry. So yeah, Monty wasn't eager to learn English, and he was under the impression that he'd never need English because he'd never leave France. But yeah, joke's on you, Monty, because now you're living in Australia, and when he first came here, he could not speak an ounce of English. No one could understand him, but he's getting there. He's still learning. It's been a couple years, but he's still learning, and he's gotten a lot better than he was when he first got here, because initially Archie couldn't understand a word he was saying, and Monty, I don't know, he just didn't know what Archie was saying, but he was like, this Archie boy, he is so pretty, and I love him. Je t'aime. I promise there's only like one French character left, so you'll be fine after this. Speaking of, our last French character is Pierre. He is Monty and Evelyn's dad, which makes him Marie's husband. That's the one. And if you haven't noticed, he used to have blue hair, because I was going for the whole like blue plus yellow hair equals green hair. Ooh. And I hate it, so like I tried to tone it down a little bit in this drawing. It's still blue, but it's more of like a bluey grey, I suppose. So I think I'm getting away with it a little better when, like, as opposed to when it was primary color blue, which was worrying. But yeah, I'm still developing Pierre. I'm not quite sure what he does for a living, but it's something that he can pick up and take with him. So, like, he can work from home and move to, like, any country and he can still be earning a living. So I'm not exactly sure what job it is, whether it's, like, something online or maybe the sort of job that if you have the qualifications in one place, you can take it to another place. I don't know. I'll get there eventually. Who knows with him? All I know is that he's a great dad and a great papa. And yeah, Monty has sort of struggled with his relationship with his parents in the past because he wasn't a bad kid. He started off as a good kid and he fell in with the wrong crowd as a teenager and it had negative impacts on his relationship with his parents. But he's slowly rebuilding that now and they're in a much better place now. And yeah, everything's getting better. Everything's great. Then we have Samantha. She is a hairstylist and she is Evelyn's best friend in the entire world because they get to work together quite a lot and they are just the best of friends. Like, they do everything together, they go to the beach together, they go get their nails done together, like all that sort of stuff that ladies do. I don't know what people do. I don't go outside. Then we have Erica, and she was Archie's girlfriend in his second high school because he changed schools midway through. And you're probably thinking, you're like, but Alien in a Box, Archie's gay. And you'd be right. And he, you know, high school's a confusing time. You do things that you wouldn't do, like looking back on things. And he went out with her. He thought that he could just be like, yeah, if I date this pretty lady, I'll become a heterosexual. But it's not the way it works, buddy boy. And he realized that midway through, he's like, yeah, nah, I'm actually fully gay, not bisexual at all, definitely not heterosexual. And although she felt a little sad because she did love him, she understood that it's not something that he can control, and he felt really bad because he felt like he led her on, but in the end, it all works out and they remain really good friends. So yeah, it's all good in the end. Which then brings us to Erica's current significant other, which is Angie. Their full name is Michelangelo, and everyone just calls them Angie. They are non-binary, their pronouns are they and them. So all those good old gender-neutral terms are what we're going to be using with Angie here. And they are just such a sweet couple, and I love them so much. And Erica is just one of those people that just understands. She doesn't question things, she just understands. So, like, you know, we've got Angie. Angie doesn't fit the binary, and Angie's kind of worried that people are gonna be, like, weirded out by that, and that people, like, that they're never gonna find someone who understands enough to be their significant other and all that jazz. And then along comes Erica, and Erica just understands everything, and she's like, yeah, I understand, they, them, it's fine, no questions asked. And Angie's just like, whoa, this is great. And they hit it off and everything is fantastic, and they're together and they love each other, and I love them and I want to draw them more often. And this whole process of drawing all my characters just makes me think of like all the characters that I hardly ever draw that I just really want to draw more now, and it's great. Then we have Chipper, and his real name is Charles, but everyone just calls him Chipper. And he is a medic in the army, or he was a medic. He had to get discharged because he was shot in the head, and it should have killed him, but it didn't. It left him paralyzed down his right side, but he's still alive, and that's very good news, because he has a wife and he has a son, and they would have been heartbroken if he was gone, but he's fine. He's like, his face is paralyzed, so that's why he's got like a wonky face, but he's also in a wheelchair and probably will be for the rest of his life, so that's unfortunate. But he's dealing with it, and he's slowly just getting better, relearning things that he needs to relearn, and he's doing a lot better than he was. So he's very grateful for that. Which brings us to May. This is his wife, May, and she is gorgeous. I love her. It's like that classic, their whole meeting was that classic thing. She was working in a diner. He was like an army man, and he walked in and met eyes with her and all that like I don't know, it's obviously better than that, but in my current state of mind where I'm talking about 50 billion characters at once, I can't really explain the whole thing. But like, yeah, they're gorgeous. They've been together for years, and they have a son, and his name is Benson, and he is here, and he's 15. He's pretty jazzy. He's a little bit anxious, but you know, who can blame him? I mean, his father nearly died, so like, I'd be a little anxious too, to be honest. And he likes to do art. He's an arty boy. He really likes hanging out with his dad, especially now that his dad is like back at home. There's no chance that he's going to get deployed overseas anymore because he's not in the army anymore. So like, he's fine, everything's fine, and he just loves spending every spare moment with his dad, and his dad just loves it when Benson comes home all excited, just like really eager to tell him everything that he learned that day. That's like the highlight of their weekday, is sitting down and talking about it, because it helps Chipper to like relearn some of the things, and it's just great. It's nice. I love it. So apparently I lied when I said there was no more French characters. There's actually 3 more. So this is Axel. He is the bad influence that drew Monty into the wrong crowd. He's a typical bad teenager, but some of the things that he did are like borderline illegal. So I'm not exactly sure what he's up to these days. He's still in France somewhere, but like the way he occurs in the story, they lose contact and all that. So like, who knows what he's up to now? He's probably in prison or something. Next in the gang is Talbot, and he loves fashion. He doesn't really talk about it much around Axel, because Axel's an asshole, but he loves fashion. He loves taking old clothes and making something new out of them. I'm not exactly sure what he's up to these days either, but I'd imagine it would be something in the fashion industry, and hopefully he got over that like bad teenage thing that Axel never got over, and he's making something of his life these days. I don't know. And he is a twin. His twin is Vivian, and she is even more quiet. No one really knows anything about her. She doesn't talk much. She's one of those that like, she only really talks to Talbot, and no one really knows anything more about her, to be honest. Not even me. So next up is Emilio's family, and they're a big family, and I love them. This is his mom. I love her. Her name is Neva, and she's Puerto Rican, and she loves to cook. She loves baking. She loves her children. She loves hanging out with her grandchildren, and I love her so much. She's gorgeous. And this is her husband, Yahan. He is from Iran, and he is a doctor currently, but back when they first met, he was like a traveler. He was traveling the whole world, and they met and decided to go globe trotting together, and the rest is history, as they like to say. And then we have Nausha or Nusha. I'm not sure how to say it, but I know how to spell it. And she is the youngest daughter. So we've got like, she's the youngest, then there's Emilio, then the other 2 that I'm going to talk about later. And she and Emilio are extremely close because they're the 2 youngest. They're only like a year or so apart, so they're very close. They're always looking out for each other, and they get along great. And yeah, Nusha's just a character. I love her. She's so butch. I love her so much. To put her in perspective, when Emilio came out as gay to his family, Nusha was the only one who was angry And the only reason that she was angry is because she's gay too. And she was like, you stole my thunder. Then we have Esther. She is the next oldest. She has a husband, some kids that I haven't designed yet, but Adair and Emilio babysit for them a lot, and that's about as much as I know about her. She needs some development. Same with Camilla. She is the oldest, and Esther and Camilla are quite close because they two are close in age. And yeah, they both have kids and families of their own and all that jazz, and they haven't been designed yet, so that's as much as I know about them. But as a whole, this whole family is just so close and so loving, and it's just a great environment to be welcomed into because, like, Adair is kind of scared about meeting Emilio's family because he knows that it's a big family and he's like really nervous around new people, but they're just so kind and welcoming and it's fantastic, so he's all good. We have Harper. This is Noosha's girlfriend, and they love each other, and Harper dyes her hair blue. She's one of the few characters with a weird hair color that actually dyes it, and she likes to practice on Noosha's hair. That's why she's got like a blue streak. And yeah, they're just really fun, and I love them, and I need to draw them more often. Like, I feel like I always focus on the male pairings, but we need more love for the lesbians. And then there's Flex. Oh my word. I drew him young here for some reason. He's actually the same age as Rusty, because they have like a thing going on. They've been friends with benefits since they were like 18. So Flex is just an absolute mess, but a lovable mess, and I feel like him and Rusty will get married because they're the type that would have had a pact as like teenagers that if they don't get married by 60, they'll marry each other. So let's hope that that happens because that would be fun. Overall, the one word to describe Flex is a mess. His real name is Fletcher, but he won't let anyone know that. He's like, no, it's Flex. And people are like, that's not even a cool nickname, buddy. Then we have Ping. I love Ping. He's just such a lovable character. He's an asexual. He's just happy to exist, doing his thing. He's one of Archie and Monty's friends from the military, and they kept in contact. And yeah, they're just really great friends. And Ping's missing 2 of his fingers, which is always a fun challenge to draw. But yeah, that's Ping. He still needs some development, so yeah, we'll get to that eventually. Then there's Maureen. Not much to say about her. She's another one that needs some development. But what I do know is that she's Adair and Sparky's neighbor, and she often babysat Sparky back when he was really young. So yeah, there's that. Then we have Lillian. Gorgeous Lillian. We've gone into a whole nother universe now. And Lillian is a police officer, and he is in love with Birdie, and they're gorgeous, and I love them, and there's just so much to talk about with them that I just can't think of anything, to be honest. Moving on to Birdie, many of you know him as Robert the Mime, but I just nickname him Birdie, and he is adorable. I love him so much. He's a mime, and the reason that he's a mime is because he's homeless, and he is mute. He wasn't always mute, but he was in an accident that wasn't really an accident, so you'll learn more about that later, probably, maybe, who knows. But it definitely has a lot to do with the people that he was hanging around with as a teenager. He was like not a good teenager. He fell into drugs and all that bad stuff that you should keep away from, and he ended up all right in the end, maybe. He's mute and he is kind of insane, but he's okay. I don't know. Then moving on to another whole new universe. We're in the Freak Show universe now. This is Felix. He is the owner of his very own Freak Show, and he has a big old secret that you'll probably know if you've looked on my Instagram, but we'll talk about that some other time. Bam bam. But the secret has a lot to do with why he started the freak show in the first place, because he wants to protect people that society deems as freaks. He himself was brought up in a freak show that was very corrupt, and he doesn't want that for other people. So that's where he's at now. And we've got his boyfriend, Sunny. Sunny is gorgeous. I love Sunny so much. I just love his face in this drawing. It's like when you make awkward eye contact and you do like that white person smile at them. Sunny has fire powers, which are fantastic. They can get a little out of control at times, but for the most part, he's got it under control, and it's mainly because he's very reserved with his emotions and all that, so he doesn't lose control. Then we have Big Bertha. She was also at the same freak show as Felix, and he escaped with her. And she's very much a motherly figure for him because his relationship with his mum is non-existent. It's completely torn to shreds. So she is like a very protective motherly figure, and they love each other a lot. And I think that's pretty cool. Also, she's a ballerina because in this freak show, Felix is very like adamant about letting people do things that they love to do. He doesn't just want to display people as freaks. He wants them to like display their talents and like the things that they love to do. So yeah. Then there's shrimp. I love shrimp so much. They're like an enigma. Shrimp, like no one knows what gender shrimp is, so they, them all the way. And shrimp is like a little kid, and they are just so full of energy. And Sunny is like he's just so low on energy 24/7, and Shrimp just wants to be Sunny's best friend, and Sunny's fine with that. But they've just got like a weird dynamic going on, and I love it so much. So Shrimp is like a little clown, and they don't age, which is really weird. Like, it's not something that Felix noticed straight away, but then one day he's like, wait, Shrimp's been here for years and looks no different. And Shrimp often like gets up on high places that no one really knows how the hell they got up there and that sort of thing. So Shrimp's just full of surprises 24/7. They don't say a lot. They say shrimp a lot. Other than that, who knows? Then there's Headless Ned. He doesn't have a head. He doesn't know where it went, but it's okay because he's the sort that's always thought with his heart. He's done things based off feelings. He was never really a thinker, so when he lost his head, he was like, okay, we'll just carry on as normal, I suppose. Then we have Darlene. She is the strong woman, the strongest woman in all the lands, and I love her so much. She's kind-hearted. She'll do anything for her family. She considers the people in the freak show her family, and I love her so much. And she's just so loving. And speaking of love, this is her girlfriend. Her name is Gladys. She is the bearded lady, and she's gorgeous. And I love her, and she's relatively new, so I don't actually know a whole lot about her, but she will develop because I love her a lot and I want to draw her more often. Then we have another new character whose name is Klaus. He has no skin. He was skinned in a horrific thing that happened. Once again, he's new, so he's still developing, but he's very posh. He's very like proper, and he's very kind for someone who looks so scary. And he gets along with Headless Ned quite well because neither of them really understand how they're still alive or whether they're actually like dead but still walking. Like, they're not really sure what's happening, so they get along quite well. Next up we have Bonnie and Ethel, and I love them. They're pretty cool. They're psychic. They're twins. That's about all I know. Another group that just needs more development. A lot of my freak show characters just need a lot of development because I've been focusing so much on Archie's universe, and I'm still making characters for the freak show universe. So, like, this is in no way a definitive list of my characters because I'm constantly making more. Nowhere near finished with the freak show yet. And I still have heaps of like children and parents and all that sort of stuff to add to Archie's universe, so who knows. yeah, all that I really know about these two is that they are twins and they have some degree of psychic ability, and that's it. They look pretty cool, I don't know. Then we have Florence. Florence is a very interesting character because they present as half male, half female, and remember this is all set in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, so like Florence doesn't really have the words to describe what it is that they're feeling. They just know that they don't align with the gender they were born as. So that's their deal. And yeah, they're an interesting character. I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to take them, whether they'll remain sort of somewhere in between on the spectrum or if they will transition to the other side of the spectrum. I don't know, it will be interesting. Main thing with the freak show is that it's like an all-inclusive place, and the word freak means nothing in this place. It's just like one big family, and at the end of the day, I don't really care if the thinking or like the thought pattern isn't historically accurate, and if I'm using like words that don't match the time period, because I just want to create like an environment that is accepting in this universe, and that's all there is to it. I love the freak show. Let me into the freak show. Then we have Iman. She is Ghost Gum's companion, girlfriend. I don't know. She's pretty cool. I love her. Another one that needs more development, really. I haven't drawn either of these people in so long. All I know is that she gets reincarnated into an African caper white butterfly, I think it's called. I don't know, I'll go look it up. I looked it up, I was right. How did I remember that? My memory's really bad. Then we have Ghost Gum. He is so much fun to draw and I want to draw him more often. He's a shaman, he's a witch doctor, I don't know. He's cool, he's nice. I don't know how accurate it is, I need to research it more, I don't know. But he's pretty cool, he can speak to the dead, he can heal people, he can do all this fun stuff, and he needs more development, but like all of my characters need more development at this stage. His real name is Kitwana and he lives sort of secluded from everyone else. I need to have a think about his character because I used to have like a full story for him, but I'm pretty sure I've like forgotten it. Like I'm struggling to think of things to say about him at this point. I don't know if my brain's just fried from talking about so many characters at once or if I've just forgotten his story. Whoops! And now we're reaching the end of the video where we've come to the miscellaneous characters, and they are miscellaneous because I either don't know what to do with them, they need more development, I can't find a story to fit them into, or I just don't like them anymore. But yeah, we'll talk about them as we go, I suppose. So this is Percy. He's an artist living in Paris. He's English, but he's living in Paris, and he likes to do art. I was developing him for like a couple of days last year and I got really into his story and then I just lost interest, and I don't know, I think I'd like to go back to him, but I don't know, he's just not as interesting as the other stories that I've got going at the moment. His story is set in a similar time period to the freak show, so I just find it more interesting to draw the freak show characters. And this is Otto. He is a German boy. Sunny is German, I forgot to mention that. Sunny is German. That's an important thing. See, I'm already talking about the freak show instead of talking about this character. He is a model that's working for Percy, and as you can tell, it's not just a friendship. I'm losing my voice and my mind. Anyway, next up is Oscar. No clue. Nothing. Got nothing on him. Him and George, I think I created them in a character design video, which I will link in the eye if it exists. And yeah, I have their designs, I have their names, and I just got nothing else. So that's why they're kind of just shoved in the bottom corner like this. And I don't know. I feel like I have to keep them together because I designed them together. But I feel like Oscar just has a stronger character design and George is just kind of like, meh. But anyway, that's it. That's all the characters. Woo! So there we have it, 56 characters in one video, and to think that it's not even all of them. I didn't even draw Elminor, haven't even designed half the characters that I have in my head. So who knows, there might be another one of these in the future. Let's hope not, because my voice is struggling. And we're back. Oh god. If you sat through all that, congratulations. So let me know in the comments down below who your favorite character is, who you'd like to hear more about, and so on and so forth. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to take up any more of your time today, so don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.